Namaste, cool frogs, and welcome to our Monday flow. So today we are looking for that island of calm, this time via opposites and counter poses, keeping things simple, and that element of self-massage and breathing. So overall this will be a kind of restoring practice with a couple of dynamic movements thrown in so that we feel quite well-rounded throughout the body, but we're looking to go slow and simplified today. So whatever time of day this is, it can set you up or take you back to that nice sort of simplified mindset and connection. So we're going to start off in seated pose. You might be sitting on a cushion, or you might be sitting on your shins if cross legs isn't for you. As always, do take care of yourselves, and when in doubt, just take rest. So we're going to take a little shift of the hips side to side. Find a sense of a deeper connection with the ground. Maybe the shape of your sit bones is a little more present. Start to draw the length through your spine and ease the shoulders down from your ears. So let's start today. First, our middle fingers coming into your jaw muscles. So somewhere around where your ears meet your cheeks, and just circle there. And if you're taking a break from work or just waking up, just allow yourself to notice yourself letting go of these muscles. So if your jaw is clenched in your sleep or through working, just take a nice deep breath in and out. We're going to continue that self-massage up to the temples, circle there. And again, notice if this is an area that you can let go of. Create a sense of space within the breath. Feel a sense of letting go or rinsing out what we stir up. One last set of circles, prayer position, coming into that third eye space. Breathing in and breathing out. Just circle your thumb knuckles between the eyebrows. Again, a sense of space and that rinse. And then when you're ready, let's slide the hands down towards the heart space, one on top of the other. And starting here, just find a sense of arrival. Notice your heartbeat. And allow your breath to soften now that we've cleared a bit of space. Breathing in. Breathing out, relax your hands down to your thighs. Stroke the top of the thighs, round at the knees and back up. Do that a couple more times with a softer touch. And just notice the kind of feeling it creates, or the energy it creates, as we give ourselves a tender touch. Let's take your right hand to your left knee, sit tall. Start to find your seated twist. So we're reaching up tall through the spine, setting the shoulders low, and allowing yourself to rotate through that column. As you arrive in that deep space, see if you can make the head and the neck a more effortless part. And breathe again, another full round of breath. start to breathe out, let go. Let's come and find its immediate opposite. If you want, switch the legs, or if you're tired on your shins, come to cross legs. Let's sit tall, breathe, and try and make the face muscles more and more effortless. Letting go on your next breath out. Right hand outside the right hip. Let's reach up through your left fingertips, stretch out your side. Give your head a soft turn side to side and find where it is, again, effortless to be, and breathe again, even more fully. Let's push off, come through center, come to the other side. Again, if you need to change feet, you can. Exhale into your side stretch. So we're going for a real balance today. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, a turn of your head, maybe side to side. Find somewhere to be in the headspace. And take another full breath. When you're ready, push up through center, gather your knees, and find a lift into your arms. As we exhale, allow yourself to come down all the way to your back, stretching the legs out, and then we're going to come back to where we were. So we're going to lift your knees and sit tall. So you're starting to use your core. We're not going to go too hectic here. Just 4 of these movements coming back down. Go flat. Inhale, pick up that core work and lift. Exhale all the way down to the ground. Go flat. Inhale, back up. One more, all the way down. And up. Exhale, float the hands either side of your pelvis as we allow our core to take us down. As we land on semi-supine, find a sense of alignment with your feet, knees and hips as you come up to your half bridge, rising the pelvis. Feel the mid part of your body rise, so the midline, that's heart, chest, solar plexus, belly button, root. And then everything else supports that, strong through the core, glutes, feet. Take 2 or 3 of your deepest breaths. And as we're in more of an action pose here, maybe the breath is going to warm up. Exhale, allow your pelvis to float gently down. Inhale, bring your knees towards your chest. Send your feet into the air, stretch the backs of the hamstrings. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. So you're just a right angle with the ground. Your heels are trying to reach up through into space, but your tailbone and shoulders are relaxed on the ground. Let's start to bend both knees, reach into the inner sides of your feet and start to widen out the feet like a frog on its back in happy baby. Keep your shoulders broad, pressing the tailbone into the mat. Option to take those heels a little bit wider if you want to go to more towards, your Upavishta. So more like a deep V shape through the legs, or bending the knees towards your elbow tips in happy baby. And there might be just a tender point for you in there. Your version of this stretch today could be different than usual. Might have particularly tight glutes or particularly tender hamstrings. Give yourself 2 of your deepest breaths so far as we stay and arrive in this. And then gently bend the knees towards your chest. Bring your feet together, then the knees together to rock the knees back and forwards. Gather enough momentum to come up. We're going to swish your legs towards the left and send your left leg back, moving into your pigeon pose. Your right knee's underneath you. We're lengthening the spine, trying to sit on equal hip bones. And exhaling to drape your chest across your right thigh. Stay at the forearms if you prefer it, or perhaps today try elbow tips wide, a double cushion with your palms as you find 4 of your deepest breaths as you arrive. If this is feeling a little bit tight today, or maybe you're just having a little cramp here, you can always come up and back to child's pose instead. We want that kind of slightly grounded focus, forehead towards the ground. Let's go with one last deep breath in and out. And then rising the chest to slide both shins back to your child's pose. Equal hips, let's give that a really generous rinse side to side. Exhaling, sitting back on your heels. Crawl your fingertips forward, take one last breath. And then inhaling, let's come up to shift your left knee forward, sliding that under you for pigeon, equal hips, rising through the length of your torso and then draping that down towards forearms. Maybe you're with me on elbow tips wide and a nice cushion for your third eye point today, and that's for grounding. Taking a couple of moments and deep breaths more to arrive and feel a sense of being close to the ground, feeling that stability, steadiness. Let's deepen the breath and allow that to exhale even more fully, emptying that breath completely. Inhaling, coming up through the chest and back to both shins. Let's go generous on the hips to just wriggle side to side. Inhaling, let's start to lift your wrist onto tent-like fingertips, engaged fingertips, and just crawl over towards the left edge of your mat. So you might be on the edge, or you might be going further, kind of off-piste, and pressing the palms back down. So as you arrive in a slight side stretch, release your palms back down. So there's a feeling of pressing your right palm, stretching through your right side. Option if you want to increase this, we're going to lift your right hand, place it on top of your left, and stretch a little more into the shoulder. 2 deep breaths. Reaching your fingertips back up to these tents. Let's walk it center and all the way to your right. So you might be on the right edge of your mat or a little bit further over, and then replacing your palms to the ground so you get this elongation through the left side of your body. Again, option to plant your left hand on top of your right, increase the stretch a bit more. Let's start to lift those wrists again. Come back to center. Find your way up to your cat's pose. Hands underneath shoulders, knees under the hips. To inhale, arch. Exhale, round it out. And just wriggle in that roundness. Inhale, let the belly find that space. Draw the tailbone back, eyes forwards. Exhale to round, maybe wriggle. Inhale, center. And inhale, exhale, round. Inhale, nice and neutral through your spine. Tuck the toes. Inhale to lift up and back to down dog, and find that really nice equal set of your forelimbs. Connecting to the ground, wriggling if you need to, and engaging the muscles through hands, feet as the heels soften down and the tailbone rises. Get a sense of a nice heavy head here, maybe a soft shake. Breathing for 2 or 3 deep breaths. You can always keep those knees bent, keep your spine feeling long and free. Breathing in, start to look towards the hands. We can take a step or a few steps forwards. Exhale to fold. Rolling yourself up, heavy arms, heavy head. Let's start to lift and stack everything. Make your way all the way to standing, and then let your arms become heavy and let your chest lead you forwards again. So we're finding its direct opposite feeling of drawing your chest down and then all the way to the head. We're going to bend the knees here. Take the arms up to your sides and find your Utkatasana, your chair pose. I know that's not necessarily restorative. Find a neutral spine here and just breathe again to stir up that prana. So you might hear your breath more as we let it become a bit more theatrical. On the exhale. Exhale, start to open the arms wide and lift your crown out of your shoulders to stand. Nice sturdy feet. Hands get a little shake. Easy going breath. So we're going to step your right foot back onto the toes, high lunge. You could take a few hops getting there if you need to. Set your hips up equal, breathe in to lift the arms. So you might be all the way up and out of your hip bones, pretty much straight up. Finding a nice low center of gravity, some strength in the legs. If it suits you through your back, we're going to keep squeezing the thighs together. Keep rising the chest, but slightly draw your chest open and back. So you're in a slight arch. Exhaling, let's release the hands down either side of your front foot and start to find its opposite. So you might even be there already as your body guides you into lifting the hips and dropping the head. So you've almost got a slightly rounded spine here. Bend both knees, start to hop your right foot forwards and allow it to come to the level of your hips, and we're simply going to hop the left foot back. Again, so we've got this really nice deep setup here as we rise through both legs, drop the head, so we're kind of reversing the order. Slightly rounded in the spine, belly button is squeezing upwards. And then bend into the front knee. Find your high lunge. equal hips, rising up and out of those hips. You might be directly up, or as you find your gravity here, you might start to lift the chest and lean slightly back. When you're ready, hands frame your front foot. We're coming back to both shins. This time, keep your toes tucked under. Allow yourself to move down slightly between your shoulders. Your forehead might not reach the ground, that's totally fine. See if you can find somewhere for it to feel quite relaxed. Option to pick up the wrists on puppy dog pose. Exhaling, start to release and untuck the toes, release the palms. So we're going to walk ourselves back towards the knees. Tuck your toes under. This time your feet might be slightly closer together. Let's see if we can find a balance through the feet. Hands together, prayer position, elbow tips wide. So we're already bringing loads of energy between the toes here, which we can feel in a moment. But as we sustain that, we're just going to take a little twist, a little twizzle to the left. So we're just moving the chest, knees stay forwards. It doesn't have to be a lot. Option is to take that right elbow to pivot the left thigh. Breathe into center. We're breathing to twist to your right. Doesn't have to be much. We can twizzle or pivot. Inhaling, bringing your chest center. Exhaling, releasing forwards, and just finding a moment to pause. And as your feet rise from the ground, just let them be completely soft, dangling. Notice the feet. This time as we come back over your feet at hips distance, let's find fold. Take a big breath in and out. We're going to do one last roll up. So I'd like you to try and do nothing at all. Feel your feet on the ground, maybe more awareness in them after our toe exercise. See if you can let go of the face muscles a little bit more. Maybe feel a sense of being here and only here. Imagine just existing. Good. So let's take our weight into your right foot. Give your left knee a squeeze. We're going to start to root down through that right foot more as we send that left foot away. So we need to notice the muscles we're using here around the hips, lower abdominals, quad. And gently swing that down. Catch that floating foot behind you with your left hand. You might put a small bend into your right knee and push your pelvis bones forward so that we're releasing the space that we just strengthened, the hip, the quad. Let go when you're ready. Step that left foot down. Other side, right knee comes up, root down through that left foot. Send that foot away and let's notice what we're using here. Hips, hip flexors, quads, core. And then exhale, let's take that foot, sweep it down, catch it behind us, and just take a little squeeze as we bend the standing leg. Just push your pelvis bones a bit forward so that we're elongating the space of your quad. And again, just notice how we release or open the opposite space. Exhale, release that foot down. Feet at hips distance. Reach the arms up. Step your right foot out wide. Open the chest. Hands can interlace or hands to elbows. Open and fold. You can always bend your knees as you're coming down or release your hands early. Let's get a feeling of really using your feet, using the root muscles to lift you and keep your knees ever so slightly bent as you keep drawing up. Exhale, let's start to release. Find our way towards your right foot. Come back to both knees so that we can switch those feet underneath us and find seated pose. So we're going to be in cross legs here as we take your left elbow up, your right elbow underneath, get to your shoulders or wrap into your forearms. We're breathing in and breathing out here. And we're keeping a bit of extra stillness in our practice today, just to feel how we stay. The breath might deepen, and maybe that develops the feeling of the pose, of the stretch. As we exhale, let's unravel the arms and take your right elbow in front, your left elbow underneath to the shoulders. Option to change legs here if you want. Maybe we're going to bind into the forearms. Feel there's a sense of lengthening through the neck as well, gently, chin tucks to chest. One last deep breath. Exhale to unravel. Inhale, let's start to pick your feet up, step to hips distance apart. We're either leaning back here with fingertips on the ground and chest just rises up and out. If your hands are comfortable, we're going to rise off the pelvis just for a big breath. And then exhale down. Okay, so we've just got 3 or 4 more opposites. So feel yourself come into that natural opposition, lifting the knees. Let's see if we can balance on the sit bones, rise your feet or hang onto the thighs. You can float your arms if you want. Give yourself one more deep breath. Inhale, pick the knees up. Exhale, open up to our Baddha, soles of the feet together. Little shift of the hips, hands to the shins, ankles or feet. Breathe in and breathe out to fold. Head and chest easy going. Bright and warm, sitting tall in the lower back. If you need to make this softer, more easy going, make it into a diamond. And let's soften soften the face. Good, let's go for 2 last deep breaths. And then when you're ready, inhale, let's start to lift up. Pick up the knees, set your feet at hips distance, and if you need to, stay up to watch where I arrive, otherwise we're coming down. Semi-supine, but we're going to wiggle your feet a little bit wide. So they might be on the edge of the mat or even wider. And we're going to let your knees move together as a counter pose for your butterfly pose. So this time, got a sense of sort of drawing close space through the hips, drawing the open space around the edges of the glutes, the hip bones. You might play with wiggling your feet a bit wider, knees moving in if that's comfortable. Let's bring hands to the ribs and just notice your breathing. Let's take just one last deep breath here. And start to wiggle your feet back in until you're back in semi-supine. And we're simply going to stretch your arms above you and your legs out long. So get this feeling of a yawn on the ground, full breath in. Full breath out to flop your arms either side of your hips. Let's take a handful of deep breaths. Just arriving in this quiet moment. And if it's not quiet where you are, don't worry, just allow yourself to feel that sort of sense of stillness, a sense of peace. See if you can relinquish control of the breath and just let it happen. Surrender to the support of the ground. So very softly, let's start to gather a sense of awareness, a feeling of using your breath to grow the space in the chest and the mind. And letting your exhale be a rinse out. Breathing in, growing space and energy, and exhale, releasing what is stale. Breathing in. Let's start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Start to bring your knees up and towards your chest. Let's take a tender circle of the kneecaps, massaging your lower back. And then circle the other way. When you're ready, tumble over to your left. Let's find our way gently up to sitting. And move into cross legs. So we're going to use our first finger of our right hand and just press into that filtering point, so the point just under your nose. It doesn't have to be hard, but sometimes it can feel good to have a good amount of pressure there. And this point for grounding, for anti-dizziness, for focus. Just let it ground you, so we're breathing into both that point under the nose and into your feeling at the sit bones. Feeling of steadiness and groundedness. Exhale, let that point go. Hands to the knees. And let's take a nice big flushing out of breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Palms together, thumbs to the heartbeat. Notice that heart rhythm. And then bow to yourselves. Come up as and when you're ready to start to open the eyes. Namaste, lovely pigeons. I hope that you are having a nice day. You continue to have a nice day, and that you feel more connected, and that you can weave that connection through the rest of your Monday. Thank you kindly, and ciao for now.